Welcome to another show of Community Wellness. Today we have a special guest, but before that I wanted to welcome you all and talk a little bit about how important community wellness is. As a nurse in the community, I work now at MGH at 3 health centers in Revere, Chelsea, and Charlestown, and I do a lot of work in the community. I do a lot of work around emergency preparedness, but through the years I've done a lot of activism and a lot of teaching and education. And I think one of the cornerstones of MGH is education, not only for staff and for our patients, but also for the community. So welcome to another show, and I hope you enjoy it. We have a special guest today. We have our wonderful friend Leslie Heffron. Welcome.
Nice to be here, Pat.
Thank you. And Leslie, how long have you been working at MGH, and what is your role at MGH?
I've just started at MGH in October of 2014, so I've been here less than a year. I am, my title is Director of Youth Services or Manager of Youth Services, and I work primarily with children in an after-school program called the Youth Zone. I also do some teaching at Revere High School in the health lessons, but my main focus is with the children after school in our free after-school program.
You do such a wonderful job. What is your background? I know you're new to our health center, but you have a lot of experience. What is your background?
I've been a nurse for 39 years, and most recently I have been a school nurse for 18 years, and I am also an art teacher. So now I'm combining my two skills, art and nursing, to teach children about healthy lifestyles.
Wonderful. You're a breath of fresh air in our program. You're taking it to another level. I know Debbie Jacobson, the administrative director, is really thrilled with all your work, and Roger talks about how great all the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you.
So you're leading our youth zone, and you're doing all sorts of projects with the students. Can you give us a little history before we talk about the projects and the wonderful things that you're doing with the children? Can you talk a little bit about what the history of the Youth Zone is? What is the Youth Zone?
Sure. The Youth Zone started 17 years ago. It was started by our administrative director, Debbie Jacobson, and she is a former special education teacher. So she had a particular interest in helping children, healthy children, outside of the health center, not necessarily patients of the health center, but children in Revere. She has a particular interest in helping them succeed in school and in life. So she started the program, and it's been running ever since. We run from 2:30 to 5 every day, and we're thinking about expanding our hours. We also have a summer school, summer camp program.
Excellent.
And that's been going on for about 5 years.
And what are the ages of the children that you target?
We serve children that are ages 9 through 17.
Oh, okay. And you don't have to be a patient, so you could just be just living in the community.
Yes.
To be part of this.
Yes, Revere, and for our summer camp we're taking children that are in the surrounding communities as well.
Excellent. So at the end of the program we'll put up the contact information for the summer camp, which I know you were telling me about the summer camp, and can I go, or I'm too old for your summer camp? Yeah, it's only through age 16.
You can come and help us.
Okay, that would be fun.
You come and do a presentation.
I would love that.
Yeah, the
that
kids
would be
would
nice.
like that.
That would be nice. Thank you. So now you're focusing on healthy lifestyles, and I know you're doing the gamut of things. You're doing activities, you're doing education, you're doing nutrition, you're doing exercise. Can you talk a little bit about the programs that you're doing to reinforce healthy lifestyles for our children?
Sure. I have a particular interest in the childhood obesity epidemic just from my work as a school nurse.
Yes.
We've seen over the years, looking at the statistics, that children in their preteens and teens are either overweight or obese, and it is an epidemic. We're not just in Revere, but throughout the country.
Yes.
And we are seeing that children are developing something called the metabolic syndrome, which is a syndrome often seen in middle-aged and older adults. It's a syndrome that's characterized by cardiovascular problems, sometimes diabetes, hypertension, problems with osteoporosis and bone diseases. So we really feel an urgent need to address these issues because it is an epidemic. So what we're doing at the Youth Zone is health lessons in a way that are fun. We don't want it to be like school, but we do want the children to learn something. So I can show you what we're doing. We have some great pictures if you'd like to.
I would love to see some of the photos. That would be great.
So we do serve kids snacks after school, and the children actually make the snacks. So in this picture, what you're seeing is a wonderful selection of fresh vegetables that they put together for a salad. And this is, the next picture is one of our wonderful culinary experts who is making something called infused water. And she, I guess, made something with lemon and strawberries or cucumber and raspberries, I'm not quite sure what. But that is a drink that the children are actually enjoying as an alternative to soda and fruit juice.
Sugary drinks are such a problem with children, and there's so much sugar in these sodas and in these juices. Also, I see that with staff, you're doing the infused drinks with staff, which is really great. You put in our staff lounge, and we really have been enjoying it. Thank you.
Well, the staff at the health center you're the guinea pigs. and what you like, I take over to the youth zone, and then I have the kids try it too, and they've really enjoyed them, surprisingly.
They're great.
So I'm going to show you another picture. We'll get to it.
Yes.
Actually, this is one of the children's favorite snacks. These are roasted asparagus, and
Wow.
they just love them. They just ask for them every week. We started out, actually the second or third lesson I did back in September was something about roasting vegetables, and I brought in a big stalk of Brussels sprouts, had it wrapped in a plastic bag. I had the children touch it. They didn't know what it was. I took it out of the bag. Some children still didn't know what it was because they've never seen Brussels sprouts on a stalk. And I said, okay, well, this is our after-school snack. And they looked at me as if I were joking. We put it in the oven with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper, and they love Brussels sprouts. They absolutely love
that's
Brussels. So that
wonderful.
was
That's a breakthrough.
that was surprising to me. So then we started with the asparagus. Now, this particular picture is a large group of students who made apple pie from scratch. They had gone to a farm to pick apples, and we wanted to do something
Wow.
with the apples. So we made the pie from scratch. We made the dough from scratch. The apples were fresh. They used very little sugar in the recipe, and they all got to take a pie home. So that was a big production, but they all look happy there. So I think they enjoyed that particular project. So back to the sugary drinks and snacks. Just last week, we did a lesson. I wanted to use visuals because I think it's so much nicer than reading something on a piece of paper.
Absolutely.
I'm very much about having something, a manipulative, I guess you'd call it. So I gave all the children empty snack bags and drink containers that they got from a local convenience store.
Yeah.
And I had them look at food labels, and they had to learn how to read a food label. That was something that they weren't sure about. So for this particular lesson, I said, let's just look at the sugar content of the snack and the drink and see how much sugar is in these two items. So most people are supposed to have, it is recommended that we have 22 grams of sugar, added sugar a day, no more than that. That's the maximum. But nobody knows what 22 grams is, so I use the little sugar cubes, and about 6 sugar cubes are 22 grams of sugar. So that particular snack had, I think, 42 cubes of sugar, or like, I don't know, 60 grams of sugar, added sugar, and they were astounded. And I said, would you eat that pyramid of sugar, because that's what you're having in this drink and this snack.
Wow.
And I don't think anybody really wanted to eat all of those sugar cubes. So
kidding.
I think it was send an important message to them that they need to read food labels and
That's great.
think about what they put into their bodies before they eat or drink something.
Wow.
The message is you are what you eat, so you want to eat things that make you grow.
Yes, healthy.
So in addition to the culinary lessons, because I'm an art teacher, I'm also interested in promoting wellness to the larger community
Yes.
through visual arts. So this particular project was done right around the time of the Boston Marathon, and the two shoes on the left and right are pictures of the shoes of our executive director, Debbie Jacobson. She's run the Boston Marathon for 10 years now, and I thought we should put her shoes up in the health
Excellent.
center so everybody can get the idea to put some spring in your step and get out there and walk, because we have such a beautiful strand in front of us.
Always, we're right on the beach. We're located right on the beach.
And I think, people should take advantage of that and walk, run, skip, whatever you want to do. Put your sneakers on and get out and get some exercise. So that's an important message for the children, but this particular piece was put up down at the health center. The children do projects at the youth zone, and then we take them down to the health center as public service announcements. So that was down there for about a month or so.
That's beautiful.
They did a really nice
It's
job.
really wonderful.
Mhm. And here's another public service announcement we did, or public art project we did in February for Valentine's Day, and it was called an MGH Valentine for Your Heart. And what the children did was learn the technique of linoleum block printing, and they made shapes of red fruits, and they put the pattern, the design, within the larger heart shape of different kinds of red fruits. And so that was a promotion. February is also Heart Health Month, so that was a promotion
that's
to
wonderful.
take care of your heart by eating healthfully, eating fruits and vegetables every day. And as part of the youth zone, on the days that the children aren't in school, when there's a vacation of some kind, February vacation, April vacation, we do have the kids come and do camp, April camp.
Yeah.
So for this particular year, we took some of the children, to see the Boston Marathon, because we wanted to see our executive director, Debbie, running the marathon. We thought it would be extra special for the
Yes.
kids, since they know her, to see somebody running the marathon.
Yes.
So we went down and met her at mile 20 and cheered her on
Oh, wonderful.
to the finish. So that was a big event. That was lots of fun. And then in the next slide, the children did some artwork at the end of the week that summarized in a visual way all of the highlights of the April camp. They all chose things that meant something or resonated to them, and they put them together using mixed media. I had them experiment with oil pastels, colored pencils, magic markers, pastels, watercolor, to create individual mementos of their camp experience, and they did a really nice job.
they're
Everyone
beautiful.
tells a story in
They're
some way.
absolutely, and they're so unique and so lovely.
They did a really nice job. So we also have some other things going on at the youth zone that I wanted to tell you about.
Yes. Can you tell me about the Peer Leader program?
Yes, we have a really wonderful, enthusiastic outreach worker, Kylie Callahan, who is a Boston College graduate.
She's wonderful.
She's really very enthusiastic, and the kids love her. So she runs 2 groups. One is called Peer Leaders, and that is a group of young adults, and they're engaged in community projects.
Nice.
And they also do fun outings. And I wanted to just mention a few of the things
Please
that they
do.
do. I'm just going to look at my notes here.
Yes.
Some of the community projects they did included holiday toy drives. They volunteered with Revere Cares at MGH. They also put together some playbooks for the pediatric patients at MGH, which I love that idea. And then for their outings, some of the exciting things they did were going to a trapeze class,
Wow.
which was wonderful. They just had the best time. They've also gone on a trip to Faneuil Hall, and they've also gone to a Celtics game this year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
Sound like it's having so much fun. How many children are in the group about?
I think they're about maybe 6 or 7, and they're all
Excellent.
children that are peer leaders within the youth zone. They're
That's
older
great.
children.
Children teaching children.
Hmm.
Excellent. Now, what is the 84 grant?
The 84 grant was a grant that was given to the youth zone, and our high school staff participated in that particular grant, and they teamed up with a state-wide movement that focused on seeing how accessible tobacco products are to youth in the Revere community. And so what they did was they went around to different convenience stores to identify the trends surrounding tobacco sales and to see how accessible tobacco was to these to adolescents. And they also, so they're actually presenting their findings tomorrow at the State House to
Oh my goodness.
Mr. DeLeo, and they found that overall, unfortunately, tobacco is very accessible to students, and e-cigarettes are also
Oh,
becoming
very, very.
very accessible to students.
We did a cable show last week in Chelsea on e-cigarettes and tobacco, which I'd like to show it to your students perhaps, just to have them learn a little bit more about how they really are focusing on getting younger adults to smoke.
I know.
All these different products, they make them so available.
I know there's a whole culture around e-cigarette smoking now, and
Right.
it's very disturbing
It
to
is
me.
very disturbing, very disturbing.
I see it as a gateway to
Yes,
smoking cigarettes.
absolutely.
Even though I think maybe originally some of the intent was to have adults stop smoking by
Right.
using e-cigarettes, but it's getting into the hands of kids that are under 18, and there
Right.
really aren't any regulations.
There's no regulations, and there's not a lot of information. I mean, I feel as nurses and working in the health field that it's our responsibility to get the information out. So thank you for doing that with your students, with your youth zone. It's so important.
Well, Kylie did a really nice job, and as I said, they are going down to give the
State House.
findings to
Wow.
Speaker DeLeo, so we're happy about
Oh,
that.
so get
It's
some
a-
photos, and maybe I can put them up in one of my shows and just
Alright.
give a little, maybe you can come in and do a little summary about it or something. 'Cause
Alright.
this is so important, and I really want our audience to learn more about this e-cigarette targeting of our kids, as well as everybody, just the community, because it's becoming a real concern.
Mhm. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. And what else? So what are some of the future? So, tell me a little bit about the summer camp. What are some of the activities you have planned?
Our summer camp is going to be a fun-filled 5 weeks, and it starts July 6th and runs Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 3:30 until Friday, August 7th, so 5
Great.
weeks.
And there are still spaces available, so
There-
we'll put up the information at the end of the program, so people can feel free to contact you if they're interested in joining, if their child or their neighbor or their friend or their grandchild or niece or anybody can join them.
Anybody from ages 9 to 17 can join us. And what we're going to be doing is hopping aboard the MBTA,
Nice.
and we're going to be highlighting the very best of Boston, Cambridge, the Harbor Islands, and beyond for the students. So what they're going to be doing is learning about the MBTA system, And I think that's a really good skill
That's great.
for them to have, because they're going to be working soon and going to college, and they'll need to use public transportation. So this will get them started. And so we're going to do field trips to Harvard. We're having a tour of Harvard. We're going to the Institute of Contemporary Art.
I
We're
love
going
that.
to a fun adventure type park called Five Wits out in Foxborough. We're going to the Museum of Science. We're going to the Arnold Arboretum. And let's see, we're going to, oh, this is going to be fun. We're going to the North End to do a little historic tour of the Paul Revere House and the Old North Church, but then we're going to be trying to find the best pizza in Boston.
Oh, we have to report back on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, so that'll be fun.
Excellent.
And then we are going to be going up to Gloucester to ride on the reproduction of a beautiful schooner called the Ardell at the Gloucester Maritime Museum. So that's going to be very special. And we're going to finish off the last week with a trip to Canobie Lake in New Hampshire. And then if we have the energy left, we're going to do a festival called the Endless Summer Festival, where we're going to highlight all the things that the kids have learned over the summer. And during the camp, we are going on a lot of field trips, but we're also going to be trying to keep the kids up to speed with reading and math, because it's been proven, research has proven that if children don't keep up with their reading and math skills over the summer, they do lose some of those skill sets. So we are developing a literary lounge. I've gotten boxes and boxes of books from 2 libraries, and we're going to be setting up a little mini library, and the kids can read the books there and take home books if they'd like and share them with their families. And we're going to be doing some math games and science projects, a lot of recreational activities to keep the kids moving, because that's part of the healthy lifestyles component.
Wow.
So
Sounds like
there's a lot going on.
A lot going on. You're busy, huh? You're busy.
Yeah, I think Kylie and I and Debbie's son Michael are going to be working. He's a teacher. We're going to be developing the curriculum, and we're trying to give these kids a really wonderful summer experience.
You guys do such beautiful work. We only have about 5 minutes left, so I just wanted to ask you to talk a little bit about the future of the Youth Zone. What are your plans for the future? Can you wrap it up?
Sure. Our Youth Zone is actually going to be moving. Right now we're housed at the Revere Recreation Center on Beach Street, but we're going to be moving down to Broadway to the building that houses the post office. I'm not sure of the
yes.
the address.
It's up the street from here.
And that's going to be opening when school starts. I'm not sure the date that school
Yeah,
starts,
that's
but
fine.
probably the end of August,
Yeah.
beginning of September.
Great.
So we'll be there on the first floor. And we really want to develop the youth zone. So it had been an after-school program, and it was a social kind of program,
Right.
but now we're trying to develop a little bit more emphasis on academics.
Perfect.
So we really want to help the children with their homework. We want to help them get applications out to college if they're at that age level. We want to help them with resumes. We want to help them with financial literacy. And we're going to have recreational activities, culinary classes, again, to teach.
Excellent.
To teach kids
So
how
it's,
to.
it's really, you're looking at every aspect of their life, as well as, so their health, as well as looking for their, towards their future and getting them prepared for getting the skills for their future for college and for living in the real world. It's a,
Right.
it's a valuable, valuable program.
And we also want to teach them to socialize and work together as a team and be
Yes.
good to one another,
Yes.
because they need those skills.
Yes,
They have to
yes.
develop those skills along the way. So
wonderful.
I'm very excited about the changes. I think it's going to be a good thing for the children in Revere.
It's going to be great for the children in Revere. It's great for the community of Revere. And it's great for all the communities, because they can be leaders, and we can hopefully replicate this program in other communities, because it really sounds fabulous.
I'd also like to include the families a little bit more than they have been. I'd like to have them come in for events and see what the children are doing and participate in some of the events going on. I know the parents work, a lot of the parents
Yes.
work in the evenings, so they can't always come, but we're going to make special events happen so that they can be included in what's going on in their child's after-school program.
That's wonderful. So it's a year-round program. They have the summer separate than the after-school program, but there's all year round there's a youth zone participation potential.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. Well, thank you, Leslie. Thank you. Our time is up already.
Oh.
It seemed like it went so fast.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you're doing for the health center, for the students, for the community, and for the staff, because you're doing a lot of your stuff is helping us working at the health center, but also for the community and for the children and their families. It's a beautiful gift. Thank you.
Well, Kylie and I are really having a lot of fun, and we're happy to be here.
Everyone's having fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today for this interesting update on the Youth Zone. It's a wonderful program sponsored by MGH Revere Healthcare Center, and there's unlimited possibilities for your children if they're interested to join us. Please feel free to contact Leslie at the health center. We're going to put up the information at the end of the program. If anybody is interested in joining the program, we're happy to have you. Stay healthy, be good to each other, be kind, and I'll see you soon. Take care.